Hello and welcome, chat, to the second semi-finals race in our any% tournament on latest patch. Today we have the second semi-finals match between Kuroshi and DryEye, two very high-level runners with both being in the top 5 on the leaderboard, so should be a very good race, a very close race if it goes according to BPs, which are just a few seconds apart. And like I said, two very good runners. This race will be deciding who will continue to finals and go up against Kelly Graffiti, who won yesterday. And yeah, there's really not much more. As you can see, we have Kuroshi on the 1-4 patch, while DryEye is on the 1-5 patch. And runners did get their count on already, and getting counted down right now. So race should be starting any minute now. We should be loading into KP in the next few seconds. Yeah, deleting the save file, and DryEye starting as well, so should be good. Now arriving as always in King's Pass. And yeah, Kuroshi was the first seed in the top 16 pool with an average of, I think, was 35-37, whilst DryEye, though having the best PB in the tournament, had a bit of a rough start into the tournament and just came into top 16 as the 12th seed with an average of 37-29, but had two races where some things went wrong, but the other races were still very good and in itself also one of the best runners in the game right now. But should be, like I said, good race. We see a few differences just regarding patches, but runners should be going for the same route, so both runners will go for the Rafter Seal later in City and do QGA. And the differences being, we have Elevator Squeeze and Watchful Back Rolls on DryEye's side, as well as no hardware cancelling, and no opportunity for plenty vault skips. Both runners get the software very nice, and so far very clean King's House on both sides as well. Now, run starts as always with heading to Forgotten Crossroads, that's what it's called, to collect Vengeful Spirit later and skip the False Net fight. And as you can see, I'm sadly alone in comms today. Hi, I'm Claputo or Clap, and I will hopefully try to guide you through the race. But yeah, not just hopping through Dirtmouth, because entering Dirtmouth, your walking speed is decreased, so being in air helps you maintain a bit of fast speed, is a bit fast, and there you saw Kuro doing early control to hardful cancel by opening the inventory and then just closing inventory immediately after. And I think DryEye got the full inventory drop, whilst Kuro sadly got hit out of it. So, tiny difference there, but still, both runners very close. And Kuro going for the upstage on the asset there, and nice double kill on both sides. And Kuro actually roughly 350 milliseconds ahead right now, and gets hit on the gong there. Interesting. But yeah, now there should be nothing too special or too new if you followed the tournament for a bit in this run. So now just heading towards Crossroads stack, walking past it for now and doing the statue pogo instead of just jumping off the tennis platforms or poking off the Vengefly. Very nice on DryEye's side and also very nice on Kuro's side. And now heading to the first boss that we luckily can skip because we don't need the Geo, we don't need City Crest in this run. And there is the opportunity to skip False Net after the first cycle, so no need to fight it and lose time. But yeah, so far very clean first bit on both on the side. Now hoping for a good False Net RNG, which would be just False Net jumping to the left. And we see, as you see it on right side, very nice. And for Kuro, sadly back jump, which will see a bit of time, but still good kill, bit slower though. And yeah, now just heading to the left wall, and then as soon as False Net slams the hammer down 8 times, the wall becomes breakable, and you just leave the arena and go immediately to Ancestral Mount, I think it's called. Ancestral or Ancient. Where we then will collect the first spell, or the only spell in this run, which will be our main option for damage in the entire run. Besides, the only upgrade we will get for that will be Venture Spirit later on, but Shaman Stone? Sorry. And yeah, so thank you, Rixian, for keeping the delta to see. So we have a rough idea of how far the runners are apart. So I think Kuro currently second behind, but still should be two very good VSs with, depending on the milliseconds, 44 on Kuro's side and a 43 pickup on DryEye's side. And now in Mount, it's just a bit of movement, and then the first of some RNG checks in the run, which will be Baldur's Bit RNG, where you have to hope to win the 50-50 to get one of the mini Baldur's Bit out instead of acid, and I think each acid split loses between like 1 and 1.5 seconds, so you prefer to get a first bit like Kuro, and that 3, 4, 5, 6 bit on DryEye's side. Very unfortunate. And then now heading to Green Path, where we'll see the exact same thing again, hoping good RNG on the second Balder. And interesting inventory drop on Kuro's side. I don't think it saves all too much time, but it's very fun to see. And now both of us heading to Green Path. We see Kuro going for the left side climb, which is a bit slower but also way more consistent. And DryEye falling twice. DryEye on the left side climb, which is faster in itself, but also a bit more RNG dependent on the growth of cycles or tick-ticks. And Kuro not getting 2 first hits, I think, but getting the soul for the possible fireball skip, which you usually don't have on current patch. And DryEye still not all too lucky on the barber fits there, and Kuro gets the fireball skip. Very nice. And now DryEye sadly does not have the soul, so has to go all the way around. And thanks to Balder RNG, Kuro should be a few seconds ahead now. But that can all change in Green Path, depending on how the fireball skips go for both runners, how jumpy Horn it is, and how, if you mess up the quicker on Venture Fly King later on as well. But yeah. Kuro now moving towards the first real fireball skip that you have to do consistently in the run. So you don't have to go through the entirety of Green Path, which would take 1 a lot of time, and 2 needs to gather 50 more geo. I think it's 50 to get past the toes, and DryEye also getting the fireball skip, which is very good to see. Once Kuro comes up to the second one, is a bit low though. I don't know if she bonked on the platform there or just was unlucky, but we see the dude pogo back up, which has a lot of names. Losing, I think, 2 to 3 seconds, while DryEye gets the second fireball skip. Very good. And yeah, now we're just kind of walking through the upper path of Green Path, quickly doing the Mossad Arena by hoping for a quick kill. As you can see on Kuro's side, just jumping high enough for the AI to trigger a back jump so you can get a double hit with VS, conserving soul, which is very good. And now heading to Bench Fly King, which, as the game sees it, evolves, but as runners see it, just a convenient Geo Rock, because it just, I would say, takes a similar amount of time, maybe even faster than breaking a Geo Rock, as you can see. And Kuro now exactly the amount of geo you need for Shaman Stone later on, while DryEye is a bit over, which you prefer to be at this point, because, like I mentioned at the very beginning, DryEye can't go for it intentionally and would have to hope for the RNG version of it, whilst Kuro can do RNG devout skip, but you want to have a bit more geo during that, if you're going for that. So, yeah. Now see Kuro starting the Hornet fight, which, depending on how it goes, should be either a fast fight or a bit slower if she just jumps all the way between one wall and the next, but so far seems like a very good fight. Yeah, very good fight on Kuro's side, and DryEye think Dry's one a bit ruder with the jumps, but still also a good fight. I think killed Hornet 8 seconds after Kuroshi was killed, so I think Delta might be around 8-ish seconds. But now, after Green Path, we will now with Dash head towards Fungal Waste to pick up the second movement ability in the round, which will be Mantis Claw. And I think the Mantis Claw split should be one of the only splits without any RNG in the run, and just movement based. So not too much to pray for there, just pray that stay where they should be. And yeah. On Kuro's side, we should see Fungal Drop in the next few seconds. Just the fast way to get through that room with the inventory drop. Very nice. No ceiling boost. And DryEye does not try the inventory drop, but Kuro misses the static slash on the platform. Was, I think, a bit low. Whilst DryEye does not even go for the second static slash. So hard for losing a bit of time, but as you can see, both runners are gathering enough soul for the one fireball setup on E-Pogo in a few seconds. And I think Kuro does Kelly Pogo setup, which is just one dash off the platform and then poking one of the bouncy shroom things. And then dashing, fireballing and poking. And I think DryEye does a double dash setup, but also still one fireball. So let's see how it goes on Kuro's side. Bit too high. And DryEye getting it first try. And Kuro being too low, so goes for backup soul instead of the 0-5 setup. Once you see DryEye attempting and succeeding on Mantis Pogo, so should be another lead change right now with DryEye pulling ahead again. As you now see Kuro after a successful third attempt, now heading to Mantis Pogo as well. And yeah, no issue on Mantis Pogo for both of us, very nice to see. And I think Kuro picks up Claw 14 or 15 seconds later. Remember why people let Pogo go. Because Panther Pogo is difficult. But it saves you the time of regathering soul. But yeah, now DryEye already on the way towards unlocking the Crossroads stack later for later split, and then heading towards Grasmother, because the next stop will be first Salubra to buy Shaman Stone, which will be the only upgrade towards our damage we will get anyone this run, and then heading towards Blue Lake to pick up Green Nail in Resting Grounds. But yeah, as you can see now, gathering some of the Geo, and this is the reason why you want to have 220 Geo at the basically after Claw, because you need to spend 50 there and will get another 50 from Crossmother back, so you make plus minus 1 in Crossroads, and then you have to buy Shaman Zone for 220 Geo. Missing that last slash on right side, but otherwise the decent Crossmother sadly went up instead of staying low to the ground, which you would prefer because I think it's a bit faster if it just stays on the ground. And if you're wondering what these pauses are in between, sometimes it's just our Rizuma Sarayashi syncing the timers again, because maybe noticed some of the loads the load times between rooms are different, which depend on the performance of your PC. So we have roughly the time stays them in. I didn't see how DryEye's cleanup went by Kuro having exactly 3 Grossers left over, but so they made very quick work of them, which is always good to see. And now just freeing Sly so we can buy Lantern when we get back to Dirtmouth after City, and then going towards Blue Lake. Yeah, the closing of the inventory or opening of the inventory just prevents you on latest patch, so everything after 1432 to take the knockback from the damage as you just saw on Kuro's side. And yeah, no concern that unfortunate fireball from the shade. And of course, no coincidence that the runner's eye, you do need the shade for the skip into Blue Lake. So you just die there to get the additional height. And Kuro also getting the fireball. So root shade for both runners. Very unlucky, very unfortunate. Loses you, I think, two-ish or so seconds the fireball. Yeah, hate to see it. But now, heading towards Dreamplats, which will be a bit of tech smashing, and then we come to the good old Dreamplats RNG, which definitely is RNG. And I don't know if the runners go for Dream Dash, which is just a well-timed dash onto the second platform of the first set, where the platform in itself, the visual is not loaded in yet, but the hitbox of it is already loaded in, and for a brief second you're just standing in the air as the platform loads in below you, and from there you just continue through Dreamplats with a few dashes, a few hops, until you pick up Dreamnail. And it seems like DryEye is going for it, as we see Kuro loading into Dreamplats as well, and yeah. As we see, you just jump before the platforms are even visible. So very nice. Saves you a bit of time as always, because if you ever question, just ask yourself, why do runners do something in their runs? It's because it's faster. Same reason that the game is in Chinese. The text box is just load faster and can be matched through easier than in, for example, English. But also, Kuro, very good Dreamplat so far, as we should be able to see CS skip on DryEye's side. Yeah. So you just gain early control and leave the CR room while it's still on the floor, so you don't have to wait to wake up. And whilst in the sleep animation, like in an inventory drop, your fall speed is uncapped. So it says roughly 4 seconds to not getting it and not getting the backup inventory drop. And Kuro also getting CS skip, very nice. As you now see, our runners heading into City of Tears, one of the more difficult areas in my opinion for reasons of boss fights. Like, you could consider the Great House Sentry at the lever to be a kind of a boss fight, but I think you will see our runners bully that sentry, and after that, Watcher Knights. As you can see now, DryEye picking up one of the main geo sources in the run, being relics. This is the any % journal, and after that just heading towards Gorgeous Husk, which is another big source of geo, because I think leaving city you need if you go for devout DryEye dashing into the platform, unfortunate. Leaving city, if you go for devout skip, I think you need 2357 geo and 2314 if you don't go for it. But yeah, now see our runners both fighting Gorgeous Husk. And after that, I'm curious to see if we see our runners going for the safety bench Inspire, because if you die to Watchers, it's probably the worst death that can happen in the run, because you have to shade skip again, losing all the geo in the process, and you can't get Gorgeous Husk again as well, so that would be unfortunate, besides just the time loss in general already. And it happened yesterday in the first semifinals race, and I think it happened to DryEye in bracket as well, but does not seem like DryEye will be going for it. Kuro missing left side climb. But yeah, DryEye with a pogo setup for the Great House Sentry, but is skipping the Great House Sentry, skipping the bench just as Kuro gets hit once, while Kuro is just jumping around the Great House with getting, I think, 4 nade slashes in all the time and then fireballing after that. And now both are runners, as you can see, very close right now. Ghost Data should be probably after Watchers, or the Dreamer pickup. But that's up to whoever keeps the Delta. Okay, no, Watcher Room entrance, just 2 seconds apart. Thanks to the unfortunate drop DryEye had, so still very close race. And I think that's what we like to see here, because the close race is the best race. But let's see how the runners do on the Watchers fight. See DryEye taking one of the heals there, just to be on full HP and getting hit immediately. And I think Kuro got a triple hit, very nice. A bit more difficult on current patch than it is on 1-2-1. And both runners now finishing up basically at this very same time with the first Watcher. Now see both runners on the second set, and on DryEye's side currently a bit more stacked, which you like to see because you want to get them killed, you try to kill them simultaneously, so the second set spawns in at the same time. And wonderful on Kuro's side, but I think DryEye has a bit of an unfortunate pattern. And yeah, so Kuro's Watcher so far I think a bit faster. And a bit more like on the Watcher's pattern probably, so wonderful fight on Kuro's side, but also on DryEye's side. You can see you always try to hit both of the Watchers with the same DS. And there you just saw on DryEye's side the backwards, which are 1-5 exclusive. They should have been in the game the entire time since its release, but for some reason it never worked. Yeah, Kuro finishing the fight a bit earlier than DryEye, but still two very clean fights on both sides. Love to see it. Now just both runners heading up to the spire, or yeah, to the room where we can absorb Lyrian. And you see Kuro hitting up the elevator again for an inventory drop later, same for DryEye. And yeah, the delta, though there was a split lead change, the delta still is just 2 seconds, so this is a very close race. And now next it's wonderfully synced right now, it's beautiful. Next up we will see the Rafters, the rounds picking up the Rafter seal after heading out of Spire. And I think both runners go for right side climb, which is the fastest way to get to the seal from where we are right now, but it's also a bit more difficult than left side climb, and also kind of RNG dependent because sometimes the bench height is a tad bit too low or a bit too high, which makes it difficult to gain the necessary height for the drop. And DryEye going for a Dream Knight drop, but Kuro let herself be pushed off the elevator by the ceiling. And if you don't know, Dream Knight drop has the same properties as an inventory drop. It uncaps your fall speed, it has the same timing to get it, but as it just has kind of an early cancel. And Kuro getting the second inventory drop, while DryEye sadly missed the Dream Knight drop again. But another 1-5 exclusive being elevator squeezes, with there just being enough space between the elevator and the wall for you to squeeze through, which is always very nice to see. But sadly, back rolls are also a big no counter argument for running on 1-5 in my opinion. But yeah, both runners now heading towards the spire, towards Rafters. They will talk to them at the fountain. And then, yeah, head towards the Rafters, hope for the Venture is in a good position, or maybe know the 3 damage tank backup, which also exists, cause on right side you always do 2 damage tanks, but there is a backup for. And yeah, Kuro realizing the Venture was, I think, too high and just immediately goes for left side climb instead of trying any weird shenanigans, whilst you can see DryEye getting right side without any issues. And also Kuro taking the heal, which is definitely understandable. Because if you don't, you can still take a bit of damage on the way to King Station, which will be done after setting to them. And you also want to have at least 2 HP for look down, quick bell, because for some reason the look down animation just speeds up the way the time for the bell to appear. And if on 1 HP this does not work anymore because you can't really look down anymore, you could still do the Wiggle strat, but yeah. And I think DryEye should be good on Geo for no default skip, and Kuro also having enough Geo for default skip, so that's also very good to see. And yeah, now just heading towards King Station with I think probably both runners probably going for the Photoshop jump. There we saw it on DryEye's side with skate movement afterwards. Just jump where you have to jump off kind of late to still reach the ledge there, otherwise you have to go all the way around. And there we see the fireball and Kuro doing wiggles, so just getting the bell to appear faster and dashing out and dashing back in again, just so that we don't have to wait for the stack to appear. And now both runners will be grabbing Lantern and then heading towards Crystal Peak. One of my favorite splits overall, because there's very few RNG besides 2 instances, which we'll get to when we get there, and otherwise just very movement heavy and truly shows off the skill of the runners. And another lead. Oh yeah, then he changes again back to DryEye, since Kuro did fail right side and had to go for the left side. So you see left side loses a bit of time plus healing to right side, and DryEye getting hit twice in all of our favorite rooms, whilst Kuro gets through it perfectly. Very nice. But yeah, now heading to Peak, and the first RNG check will be coming up again, being Porgax. We just hope that the miner does not do a bit of wiggles and throws the pickaxe from all the way from the back. Instead walks a bit towards you and then throws it. And yeah, see. Good RNG on DryEye's side, wonderful. And there's no real setup on current patch unlike on 1-2-1, so both runners with a wonderful Porgax. And the laser cycle here is also a bit of RNG, so I think, yeah, that laser bug, I forgot their names. Opting to go from below, very nice. Kuro stalling a bit, not long enough. As we now see, both runners make the way towards the last important room after the 2 more transitions. And in this next room we'll see another opportunity to see Dreamlight drops and inventory drops. And you see this, where DryEye is currently paused right now for sinking, is a wonderful place for Dreamlight drops, because the Dreamlight drop animation ends at the perfect time for you to just start dashing right immediately. Whilst on an inventory drop you kind of have to close at the right time yourself. And DryEye on 1 HP after the damage cycle, but you take that 1 damage tank so you don't have to stop at all during the cycle, except for the tiny air, so therefore the laser. And both runners doing underplat, you love to see it. As they pick up the last movement ability and the last pickup that is not a Dreamer in the entire run, Crystal Heart. But yeah, now Crystal Heart, just in general good movement ability, and it helps us get into Queen's Gardens through the Queen's Gardens asset skip later, after the runners fight the boss they're now heading to, being Umu, which is very annoying boss in my opinion, because it's just another RNG check, DryEye getting hit out of the inventory drop, and Kuro getting hit on the way in. Also very rude. And on the way down, very unfortunate for Kuro, getting hit twice there, so... Ooh. Very close on DryEye's side, managed to save it. Had no acid underplat there. And the first tiny acid skip in the run. As both runners are now heading to Archives, Kuro also not going for the underplat there. Yeah. And runners once again for the 3rd time so far, just 2 seconds apart from each other. That was an interesting hit on the Oma. Oh wait. No! I think did Kuro get C-dash glitch and then hit by that Oma? Very unfortunate death. So this could be very well the decider of the run, but that will be only see how the boss fights go on DryEye side for the rest of the run. But yeah, no. Try setting up for a 2-cycle hopefully, saving roughly 20-ish seconds to a 3-cycle, having not the best RNG, I think, was 2 long attacks, and you prefer to see 2 short attacks. But very good first cycle there, and unfortunately does not get a shot pick on that first attack, which you would want to see because you don't have to do that damage tank. Now just heading back to the left side of Umu and DryEye being on 1 HP. But very clean 2-cycle, very nice. And now on the way to pick up Monomon, whilst Kuroshi should be starting the fight very soon as well. But yeah, that was very unfortunate on Kuroshi's side, I think. I don't think the first explosion killed or triggered the second Uma, but rather the C-dash. I'm not quite sure though, because I was looking at DryEye's screen at that time. But we now see Kuro as well on Umu attack going for the 2-cycle. Let's see how it goes for Kuro, hopefully same. I think, oh, Kuro just missing all of the doubles and dunking. This will not be a 2-cycle anymore, but should still be an easy 3-cycle. Yeah, just very unfortunate with the C-dash glitch, which is very low chance of happening. It's just something that you usually would kill with the C-dash damage. It dies, but you still take the damage for weird reasons. But yeah. So now setting up for 3-cycle, slightly losing a bit more time now. And they DryEye not starting the C-dash, they're sliding off. But yeah, Kuroshi. 4-cycle, because we had a hungry wall there. Because sometimes walls just eat your yes. And Kuro once again on 1 HP, which is very scary. But should be, yeah, should be good. Kuro, please heal. But yeah, DryEye also took a lot of damage on the way out. I did not notice that. Takes a save to the bench to heal up again. Very understandable. Yeah, Kuro now going towards Monomon as well. Also see DryEye going for the Queen's Garden acid skip. And no double and dunks. No double dash. And gets it on the 3rd jump, and I think 2nd jump would have been fine as well, but it's a very clean QGA, heals back to full. Because in a safe you want to go fast, but you also want to be safe. And not take any unfortunate deaths in Queen's Gardens or on the way to archives like Kuro sadly did. And DryEye going for right side drop there. And now heads to Petrol Arena. Which on current patch a bit more misses the 2nd Petrol with a... Oh, did get a double hit on the 2nd hit, so very nice. And goes for the C-dash. But yeah, now just hitting the lever to unlock the gate and heading towards Deepest now. So. And yeah, as you can see the delta now being 1 minute and 40, which is very unfortunate. Kuro has a bit of time save compared to DryEye in Beast Simulator thanks to Devout Skip. And otherwise, for Kuro to have a chance to advance to finals as well, DryEye would have to die near the end of the THK fight, which hopefully won't happen, but I think is the only feasible way for Kuro to still win. But yeah, we now see Kuro doing QGA. also on the second jump in. Should make a bit more time back on the split as well, because DryEye did take a dump there. And I'm not making any comms curses right now. I did not summon the comms curse yet. But yeah, so far, very... Okay, I was about to say very clean defense on DryEye's side so far, but Chat apparently awoke my curse power, so thank you, Chat. And DryEye healing a bit there because you don't, on 1.5 you don't really have the option for quit out heals because you do need the soul. And DryEye does also need the geo from the first devout as well, so could go for the default skip and then just pick up a geo rock, but it's probably faster to just kill the first devout. Because the quick kill is pretty quick. As you now see, Kuro on the platform gauntlet at the very end, where I think DryEye took one drop as well, so another way to make like some time, which, like I said, very good, which Kuro wants to see. Yeah. Setting hard faults once and DryEye not getting the option for NG devout skip anyway, so just heading towards Beastman the usual way, does not get C-dash glitched, and just now starts collecting a bit of soul on the way towards the... Gets sniped though, on the way to the second devout, and luckily was on the left side there because Parker can be very mean and just hit you with its bit and... How dare you? How dare you? Just, first of all, very nice deepness on Kuro's side, no mistakes there, but the tease on DryEye's side with healing right in front of the grub. This is why we said yesterday in the race, saving the grub should be mandatory in any percent, even though it is a minuscule amount slower. That was just... No. I won't accept DryEye as the winner of this race anymore, but sadly so did the winner of yesterday's race do the same, ignoring the grub. Well, Kuro missing devout skip. And no Kuro, you're not dump. But that is a very unfortunate death on Kuro's side. Yeah, definitely. They made back a lot of time in these two splits. And gets devout skip on the second attempt. Maybe the quit out would have been a bit better there. But the death at the very beginning does not lose all too much time, still loses a bit of time, but it is better than dying later in Beast then. So, and Parker being a bit annoying with its positioning there. But now we see DryEye just heading towards Black Egg Temple, where the last two splits do take place, and Kuro at least saving the grub, our hero. And yeah, DryEye on the last splits being unchaining THK, and then, of course, hopefully beating THK. And I'm not saying that I want DryEye to die to THK, but I hope for not saving the grub there will be a lot of parries, because the grub gods have spoken. And missing Blob Pogo, very sad. Blob Pogo, very fun, saves tiny bit of time. And it just looks funny as well. But yeah, as Chat is already doing, get your holidays in chat. For DryEye now entering Black Egg Temple, preparing for the last split, the last part of the race. And maybe solidifying the place in the finals, which I think should be taking place this weekend, so stay tuned for that. Should be a very good race no matter who comes out on top of this race. But yeah, Kuro's still 117 behind. And yeah, the only way that Kuro can still win is by DryEye having a death at the end of THK. So, but let's not hope that happens. Would be a close race though. immediately gets the a dash very nicely, because what you want to see in this in non-sport from THK is a lot of dashes for a possibility to get in a lot of double hits, and by jumping too high they're missing the fireball completely. So far, not... Okay, now RNG is getting better again, but had a bit of an unfortunate RNG at the very beginning, with a lot of parries just like those. That is 3 parries. Suicide is an okay attack. What you don't want to see are things like teleports or parries, because teleports are difficult to react to, because THK is just far away at that point. Back jumps can be annoying, but also fine. And I think DryEye also skipped the first screen, so very nice. And once again, also get your apologies in. What's the roll? As Kuro now also heading towards THK. DryEye now infested face and very clean THK fights for I think hitless. And bounce attack, not the best, but you can still get in a bit of damage. Still annoying though because you can't get in too many hits. And a beautiful scream skip. Yeah. Very clean THK fight on DryEye's side. And yeah. So DryEye should have around 35-33 I think. So GG's to DryEye for advancing to the final of this tournament. As you now can focus on the THK potential side. And Kuro with wonderful RNG, just one dash after another. Yeah, but Kuro, I think those were 5 dashes before the first game and immediately another dash. And then but another dash but missing the fireball in there. And this is a wonderful RNG on Kuro's side right now. Okay. I thought it was another dash. What you don't want to see is a stagger on the dash, because it's just one fireball you're missing out. Missing out on, so very annoying, but I don't think Kuro can complain on the THK fight so far. And another dash. I don't think we've seen any fountains in... Right? Only a few spell attacks? Because fountain is another wonderful attack for a lot of damage. And yeah. Also, very good screen skip on Kuro's side. And they should be it after the next few nail slashes. And the fireball cleans up the kill. Should be a... okay, 26. Should be a 30-ish. THK on Kuro's side as well. GG's Kuro as well. Very clean THK fight. And that is it for the race. We should maybe be getting both runners in for an interview in a bit, so... And let's see if that goes. Yeah, go with the 35, so... Made back a few more seconds on the way out of Beeson. But... let's see, it was not enough. That was... Umu was very unfortunate. And now... yeah, 7 seconds, so... very clean, and see... both runs in position. GG's to both of you. And... so, let's start, oh, sorry.
No, GG.
GG's.
Kuro, let's start with you. What happened?
I mean, I can't. Like, what's the 80%, right? Hollow Knight, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I don't. You don't expect. Like, in my mind, I was thinking I'm gonna bench at Umu because I took 2 damage. So, you know, you don't really care, right? You don't really care. Like, when the C-Dash glitch happened, I was like, oh, I'm gonna die here. In my mind, I knew. Like, because the C-Dash also breaks the... what's it called? The Uma at the back. So I knew I'm gonna die the moment I got the C-Dash glitch. The first one.
Oh.
If it was the later on, like, it's the second or third one, I wouldn't have died. But the first one, because I see that glitch at the first one, I died. And I was like, what good game. And like, I mean, like you can't really do much. And after that point, I was just like, all right, let's just do my best, go for goals. I can't really like everything else is out of my control. I like it's not on me to like come back, right? So like yeah, that's nothing much. Like what can you do?
That we fought by an unfortunate move fight, but very clean THK fight, I'd say. Very good pattern.
I gold at THK, so that's fine.
Didn't you gold it last race as well?
Yeah, I gold at last race as well, but yeah. I mean, only small victories, right?
Yeah, definitely. And then, hopefully Summer can do a bit of translating for us now. DryEye, any opinions on your run, any comments?
ドライアイさん、感想よろしくお願いします。
はい、ありがとうございます。多分、ホローナイトをやってて、一番ドキドキしたレースだったと思います。すごく楽しかったです。黒志さん、ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございます。
In my history of running Hollow Knight, that's probably the fastest my heart has beat, the most anxious I've been in a race, the most nervous I've been. But yeah, thank you for the race, and thank you to Kuro for racing.
Very kind words. So, what's continuing? If chat has any questions, feel free to post them in chat so the runners can read them, or we can ask them for their comments. But I think now, DryEye. So, how do you now feel for continuing to finals and having to race Calligraphity in the finals?
ドライアイさん、ファイナル決勝戦に向けて、カリーさんと当たりますが、それに向けて何か一言よろしくお願いします。
はい。そうですね。もうこんなにドキドキしたくないので、もっとドキドキしないように練習頑張りたいです。
はい。In future races, in the finals, I don't want to be this nervous for the entire race, so I'm going to practice to try to get better times, get better average times.
Definitely good luck with that. Nervousness. Spreading nervousness sounds interesting as well. But
I was nervous as well. Like after I failed Ipogo, right? Because I was just like, I'm gonna be behind. Like I knew I was gonna be behind, so I was like, okay, I'll try my best at City. City was okay until I kind of messed up with GHS, and then after that it was just I like if everything else went well except for the death, but you know what I mean, that's any person, right? That's not, you can't really do much. Hollow Knight.
One question chat has is, how long have both of you been running to get this good at the runs?
I've been running since I would say April 2021. Yeah.
Wow. More than 2 years now?
Yes, no, 2 years. 2 years. 2021 to 2022, 2022 to 2023. Yeah, it's been 2 years-ish. Although I do have about 3,700 hours in Hollow Knight, according to Steam, so yeah, that's all, yeah.
How long has DryEye been running? I don't know.
ドライアイさん、このホローナイトいつから、走ってますでしょうか？
あれ、いつからかな。あとね、
期間ですね。
期間で言ったらまだ2年にはなってないと思います。1年、ちょっとかな。
Not long enough to be 2 years yet. Probably around a year, just over a year.
Just over a year though is just over a year, and then being third on the leaderboard, definitely impressive. So,
素晴らしいね。
ありがとう。
and you have our other finalists asking you, Kuro, will you continue playing 80%?
Nah, I won't. Nah, I'm not gonna run any percent. No, I've been running any percent for a few months, and it's not fun. Like I can see how it's fun, but I'm more of a. I've always been like I enjoyed more of the 1xx runs more. So yeah, probably not anytime soon. Maybe like in a few months after I get bored, or like DE and all that stuff. But yeah, it's no any percent for me for now.
Definitely understandable.
Yeah.
And yeah, Chat pointing out, time does fly. The release feels not as long ago as it actually is. But now I think 5-ish years.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't think there are. Did I miss any questions? I don't think so, but towards City, as you mentioned, we're just trying to do the best in City. In City, it started again to get close again after a drop on DryEye's side before Gorgeous Husk, and in City, entering Channelia, I think you were 2 seconds, or Gorgeous Husk, you were entering Gorgeous Husk, you were 3 seconds behind. After Watch Us, you were 2 seconds ahead, and it just switched for a good amount of time before it would have between you were 2 seconds ahead or DryEye was 2 seconds ahead. So very close race at that point. Very nice to see. First Kuroshi stream he died in Falcon.
It is what it is.
Yeah,
It is
but
what it is.
I think do the runners have any more questions for each other or for the other people in chat?
DryEye さん、私も楽しかったです。
楽しかった。またやりたいね。
Well,
I guess. Also, thank you. I think we also have the Japanese restream, right? Do we? Sawa, I'm not sure whether that thing was confirmed. But yeah, thank you to the Japanese restream as well. 日本の視聴者の皆様、ありがとうございました。I guess.
I'm not able to start raid, so if any mods are present. Kuro, are you mod on the channel?
Huh?
For raids later.
I'm not the raid person yet. So.
Damn it. So, sadly, maybe no raid today, but if chat has no more questions, I myself don't have any more questions for the runners, so that would be it for the race today, and the next race then will be scheduled. And once again, there will be a ping on the Hollow Knight speedrun channel. I don't think the Hollow Knight main channel gets the ping, but if you want to know when it happens, just stay tuned, look at the speedrun channel, it will be pinged there, or just have notifications enabled on Twitch for when the channel goes live. Otherwise, that would be it from us today, and hope everyone has a wonderful rest of the day.